Ooh, this shit feel like.
What it feel like, nigga?
Man, it's graduation day. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very special episode. This is our year-end episode. Let's get some claps going.
Let's go. Is this our second one?
Yeah, this is our second year-end. Oh, yeah, because did we do it last year? I don't know if we did it last year.
I don't know. It's just, time is fate. It's the ball dropped in 2020, nigga. I woke up in 23.
Yeah, it definitely been 2020 for mad long.
Mad long.
Big Jew, thank you for joining me as per usual. I appreciate it. It's been a wild year for us, but today is a very, very, very special episode. I get to introduce someone I'm happy to call a friend, someone who I have known, I think like 3 years now, 3, maybe even 4 years at this point.
Yeah, 4 years.
Right, at least 4 years. I've seen this man grow literally before my eyes. This man is now a writer for Vibe magazine. This man is now the owner / host of one of the top music podcasts in the country.
Okay.
And Stay Busy.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Armon Sadler. Let's get some claps.
Let's go. That's a huge fucking flex. Very humble dude. That's a huge flex.
A pleasure to be here, fellas. John, you my guy for life, man. And really love what the show is doing. Love the clips. So happy to be a part of this, man. Hoping to have some fun conversation, some banter, some debate, all that good stuff. So it's good to be here, man.
So I told Mr. Sadler before we began today that I was excited for this more so because I am in a group chat with him. So I do talk to him on a regular basis.
Okay.
And at time to time, we have to spar in the name of ego.
Is it a fantasy chat though?
No, this is a live chat. This is actually before we even dive into the episode, I will say I am now a big believer in life group chats. And I'm now a big believer in getting like a bunch of different people from different backgrounds into that chat. Because on a daily basis, I find it amazing how just little things that you can talk to that you like. I know the answer for the most part if I were to go to like you or some of my local friends, right? But it's a very different answer and response from people who are just from different areas and different upbringings that, they just give you a really different perspective. So shout out to the group chat, man. Let's get some chats going for the group chat.
I don't know if I'm gonna shout that out though. I'm sorry, Armon.
I've really appreciated being in the group chat because like most of you are older than me, and I've always had older friends. But I think at this stage of my life, it's especially important to have older friends. Like John is married now. Niggas is moving across the country, just doing a lot of different things, and so the perspective is important as I'm continuing my journey. And as I told y'all, like probably like a year ago, I was like, y'all encouraged me to get my money up for real. Like, yeah. A lot of y'all are working really great jobs, and it made me hungrier to kind of get to the point I'm at now. And I'm still figuring things out, but I'm definitely in a better spot than I was when we first met. So definitely appreciate all y'all for real.
Nah, and I will say the funny part is like you can't be just making us feel everything.
This shit already.
Yo, Sean, can you give me some paper
my
towels?
fault. I'm looking around like trying not to make it hot.
And the
That's
funny
my fault,
part is,
America.
especially being in the chat, like you learn real quick, like you can't be broke. That's a chat where like if you are broke, you reevaluate everything that you do.
Every week, niggas.
Because every week you look around like, oh, nigga got that job, nigga do this.
Shit.
Damn,
parlays ain't hit. You start looking in the bathroom mirror again. Fuck, I should have went to law school. You 37, nigga. The bar is gone. Just going, brother.
So we're going to have some fun today. But before we dive into our normal topics, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Armon and his rise. As I mentioned before, he is a writer for Vibe magazine. So first things first, Armon, as someone who I would still consider myself an artist, someone who took a long time trying to figure out the music game and seeing the weight or the stature that writers have and what they can do for artists. My first question to you is, is that something that you ever think about? Like, hey, my opinion matters X, Y, and Z to someone's career. Is it strictly just a job for you? Like, what does being a writer in the music industry, especially the hip hop industry, kind of shown you and mean to you at this point?
I mean, first, it's my passion. Like, I wake up every day as much as it's a job, I love it. Like this is really the first job where I know every Tuesday through Thursday when I got to go into the office, I'm doing something that I love to do. And so that's the main driving force for me. Getting paid to write about music is a privilege. Yeah, getting paid the amount that I'm getting paid is like I never saw this. But beyond that, there is an impact that I can have, and something I was big on when I was kind of rising up in the space is like not only just covering the mainstream artists, but giving deserving upcoming artists a platform too. And so, of course, as my name has grown and as I've gotten to bigger platforms, I've considered, how impactful it is for me to just write one little article about an artist who maybe has never been written about before or is waiting for their moment. So yeah, I definitely take that very seriously. I definitely think about that very often, and I think it makes me a better writer because I know the responsibility that I have. I try not to take myself too seriously or think that I'm like the expert on things. And people love to call music journalists experts. Like, you're the music expert. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm someone with an opinion who just knows how to articulate it in a very insightful way. But I look at it as storytelling. I look and I'm also a critic too. Like, that comes with journalism. I have to think in a critical way. So I take all of that very seriously. I definitely know the impact that it has on people. People have told me the impact that it's had on their careers. So I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that I can be in this position because there's a lot of people who wish they could be in this position or think that they could be in this position who aren't for whatever reason. So yeah, it's an honor more than anything. It's great to wake up and be happy about what you do because there are a lot of people who work jobs that they absolutely hate just to make money, but I get to make money doing something that I actually enjoy doing.
Word.
Yeah, that's dope. The that factor, like you just said, pretty much not taking it for granted because you enjoy it. The enjoyment factor also can that's where it's relatable, just the fun. It's fun, so you're like, yo, I'm in the moment more or less. That's where it seems like you're at right now. I'm in the moment, and it's like, yo, I'm fucking doing it, and that's huge. And it's a big praise to people, one like you, who realize that you're in the moment and you're gonna excel and just optimize your ability to grow from that for other people who truly want it. Because some people just get caught in that moment and like, yeah, I'm the shit. But it seems as if you're just captivated by the opportunity. It seems as if you're one of those people who's like, yo, this is opportunity and I'm not gonna squander it. And for anybody else out there listening who has that going forward to the year end and the year going forward, whatever opportunity that you work for, don't be too humble to take it, but then be humble in those moments to know that you didn't have to have it. And we appreciate you for that, Jim, because you're actually in the moment of something that you worked for and you're like, holy shit, I'm there. That's huge, bro. For real. Appreciate that, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's I was working to get here for 8, almost 9 years now. A lot of ups and downs, lots of doubts, lots of losses, and what people would deem failures. And so it's like when you get that shot, like it's like when you're like on a basketball team and you're the 10th man, so you don't get much play time. And then when coach finally calls you in to sub in, yo, if I'm gonna play for 8 minutes, I'm gonna make this the best 8 minutes of my life. And for the last 9 years, whatever 8 minutes I've gotten, I've tried to make the best of it. And thankfully I have, and I haven't, messed up yet. So I kind of try to think that way. Like, I still feel like I'm a rookie in this space, despite everything that I've done and how long I've done it, just because I don't ever want to feel like I'm the superstar and it comes easy to me, because it doesn't. So for sure.
So again, coming from an artist space and an artist mentality, this is a question I always wanted to ask, like a writer anyway. It just happens to be my man. So so now we can really go back and forth about it. So I know, especially for me, when I was really kind of grinding and really getting into music industry and kind of learning, the ins and outs, I know coming from like an artist mindset, I used to reach out to writers all the time. And it's like, damn, this guy's not getting back to me. This person's not getting back to me. You're just trying to find that one person who would just give you the shot to just listen and see what they think.
Like collabs.
You're not even necessarily collabs, but like, when you have a new project out, right, and you're trying to reach out to get some promo for it and just whatever. Yeah, you're just trying to get someone to give it a look and give you like that boost to your back, right? Especially in higher positions. So I say all that to ask you, as a writer, what does it take for an artist to get your attention outside of, and I'm not talking about label artists. I'm talking about like, I'm Jimmy down the block. I've been grinding for 5 years. I got a little buzz in my city. Like, how can I get to someone?
I'm done with the YouTube, SoundCloud shit.
No more YouTube beats. Like, you feel like you've gotten to a level. So, like, what are you looking for as a writer for an up-and-coming act that no one's heard of in order for that person to reach you or that person's music to reach you?
Yeah, I mean, it's I find music in a myriad of ways, like commenting across it on Twitter, posting a clip of it. Of course I use Twitter for my entertainment, for whatever, but I'm always like, if I see a clip of an artist come across my timeline, I'll tap into the video, I'll listen for a little bit, see what they're talking about there. There's a lot of artists who have just built a genuine relationship with me, taken an interest in what I do, suggested music to me, not even their own music, just music that they think I would like. Just figured, like, seeing what I tweet about, seeing what my tastes are. And then through that, we kind of build a relationship to where if they were to send me their music, I'm more inclined to listen to it because they've taken the time to build the relationship. A lot of people look for the immediate kind of, they're immediately just trying to get something from you. The music industry is very transactional. And in a way, like, I get it. Like, I'm not looking to build a relationship with every single person. But from that perspective, when you're looking to get something from someone who is receiving 200 emails a day from people just like them trying to get their attention, you kind of got to look for ways to stand out. I do check my emails. I do listen to as much as I can through my emails, TikTok, Instagram, all that. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. I'm still, and this might be like traditional or seem old, but I'm big on like word of mouth, but also just meeting people in person. And it's sometimes it's like overwhelming for me when someone comes up to me like, yo, like, you're Armon from Vibe or you're Armon from Stay Busy. Like, I watch your stuff, bro. Like, I make music, check it out. But setting aside the whole like, damn, like, I have listeners type thing. It's like, all right, well, you had the courage to come up and talk to me. You want to promote your stuff, like, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. So there's a lot of different avenues to connect with artists, but absolutely utilize social media. Like, I know a lot of artists try to kind of be like too cool on social media. They'll, only post like very mysterious type pictures, trying to be vague, trying to be whatever. But now you got to put yourself out there at the end of the day, because there's so many people out here trying to compete for our attention. And especially at a place like Vibe, where I have to cover a lot of what's happening in the mainstream, I don't necessarily get the opportunity to put on people, who are up and coming. But I do have my weekly New Music Friday column where I try to sneak in, some upcoming artists. So if you're able to capture my attention in, whatever way, then you might end up, getting on my column, or you're just someone who I listen to. There's some people who I just enjoy listening to and giving feedback to, and not necessarily writing an article, because sometimes I think the feedback that I give you may do more for you than, just putting you on a column that people may read and people may see your name and not even check out the music. So I think there's a lot of different ways to go about it. And I always encourage people just like, you got to put yourself out there. Like, that's one of the greatest things we have as humans, is the ability to connect with people. And I look at music as a universal language that we can all speak. And, we all kind of have an idea of what good music is and what good music isn't. And so good music can bring people together. So of course the music has to be good, but also the human connection there too.
That's dope. Yeah. No, and so before I go to my next question for you, that the building the relationship part I find interesting, right? Because in the world where we live in, where everything is social media, right? As you said, you're getting a million emails. I'm sure you're getting a million DMs. You're getting, there's all these ways. So without going obviously crazy into detail, like, what is one small way that someone can go about building something with you?
With me?
Right. Or just, you, a writer, like somebody, as an artist, I'm trying to get my stuff out there. I want to build a relationship with somebody who's in the industry. What's a very small, subtle, whatever, just something top of your head, like, oh, like, I know, in personal experience, this person did this.
Or what is he looking for? Like you said, because a lot of motherfuckers, everything Yo, cause as an artist, well, you're I don't know. You're like Timberland now. I don't know what the fuck to call you.
Don't do that.
I don't know. This nigga's
Don't do that.
Like a Marie Callender's dinner. I don't know what to call you.
I count numbers now.
You a
Don't do
snack,
that.
you a meal. What the fuck? But what do you look for in that? Because like you said, like everybody wants that hour.
Right.
So some cats are chasing clout, some legacy, some fame.
Right. Yeah. Like.
So
you know,
how
I really ask because everyone always says build, right? You always want to build relationships, and that's a very
build what?
Like, you know, right? Because like of course you do, right? Like of course I want to build, but it's like I guess what is a good icebreaker? That's the question.
Yeah, when you're like he has it, whatever it is now.
Yeah. What's a good icebreaker for you?
I mean, it's very simple for me. Like, I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm tweeting about sports. I'm tweeting about music. I'm tweeting about women. I'm tweeting about mental health stuff. Like, just connecting with me in any kind of way. Like, if we're just able to kind of have a very natural interaction, and I just like what you say, like I'll click on your profile and see, you know, like what's this person do? Oh, they're an artist. Like, let me check their shit out. But I also think, and I don't fault artists for this because a lot of them maybe don't know this, but approaching me professionally is very important. So if you shoot me an email, don't just send me a link like, yo, listen to this, write about me. Like, introduce yourself, send me your bio, send me some photos. If you performed recently, say where you performed recently. If you gotten co-signed by someone that I'm aware of, like mention your co-signs. I kind of look at it like speed dating. You know, if you got 3 minutes with a baddie, you're not gonna not, you know, give her your full portfolio. If you're looking to get more time with her, like you're gonna tell her everything. Like, yo, I'm Armon. I'm verified on Instagram. I work here. I know this person.
Shit.
I know that person. Like you're gonna put it all out there because you don't know if you'll see this person again. And you know, I've been approached by some artists in certain ways where it's like, I'm just never going to talk to you again because you didn't go about this the right way. And again, I don't fault them because some of them don't know. Some of them are really just trying to grind and put themselves out there. But the people who approach me professionally and don't come off entitled, I'm more inclined to be like, all right, I'll give this person a chance.
Bet. So one last thing, and we're going to dive into our fun stuff today. As a music fan, and you tell me if you agree.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of hip hop interviews and hip hop podcasts recently. And to be honest, I fucking hate them. I'll be quite honest. I hate the new age interviewing, and not even more so the interviewer. It's how the artists are going into these situations, right? Because as an outside person looking in, you can tell, oh, the artist PR was like, yo, this person's hot, we're gonna go on their podcast, or
that's it.
This person's on the radio, like, you know what I mean? So like,
it's ready mix, niggas
right.
is ready mix.
So you go on, you know, you as a fan, you're watching, and it's like, oh, this is pointless. Like nobody wants to be there. You could tell the interviewer's trying, but the artist,
I got these free tickets at Subway with the cookies.
right. Like the artist is just there to promote their new project, not talk or whatever. So I wanted to ask you, how has it been interviewing artists for you? Like, do you feel that as the interviewer, or is that more just me being an asshole?
No, I've definitely experienced some artists who seem like they don't want to do press, and it's always fascinating to me because artists typically their teams aren't having them do press unless they have something to promote. So, like, it's an alley-oop for you to tell us the story of something that you're doing and get it out there to the people. And I'd like to think I do a pretty good job of my interviews too. So when I encounter people who maybe aren't familiar with me or my work and who don't seem like they want to be there, it's very interesting because when you don't tell your story, people tell it for you. They create narratives for you. And that is unfortunately a lot of what we see in new age media is a lot of rumors, a lot of narratives, a lot of false things. And so I always implore artists to control their narrative, and you control it by just being open and taking advantage of every opportunity that you have to speak to the people who are gonna present your story in the right way. And I get it. You're busy. You might be tired. You might be doing a lot. Like, especially when artists come to like my office, like if they're in New York, that means they're doing a crazy press run. So they might be just exhausted of talking, which I respect and I try to, acquiesce myself to. But yeah, I've definitely encountered some artists who seem like they do not want to be talking at all, and I just try to create that environment where they're comfortable and they can even be entertained.
Pardon on my. How talented are these motherfuckers? If you the Weeknd back in 2011, 2012, yeah, nigga, you don't have to talk. If you Kid Cudi back when it was day and night, I toss and when you. Now everybody is the same artist, and I can get it, but. All right, is there a confliction with whether or not, like I love the fact you said, like, you might be pretty much overly stimulated or exhausted. I get that. But what are you promoting? Do you have a story? Are you afraid that you don't have a story? And how authentic is it? Because you can have some hot shit with no story and be like, oh shit, you're about to ask me some real shit. You seem like a guy who's like, you know what? I want to know, where'd you get this cake mix from? Not just you went down the street to the bakery, copped a cake, now you selling slices like it's your own shit. You seem like one of those, because some people, some interviewers or some professionals will let that slide. I feel like in order to be or get that authenticity, we have to know what is. Prince ain't care, David Bowie ain't care, Mike ain't care. Hell, Rick James probably should have cared a little more. You know what I'm saying? So now this age is like, oh, I'm bothered. I'm the new shit is unhinged. Nigga, you never been in the doorway, nigga. Relax. So like, how do you? What's your thing from telling what's authentic and not like, or is that something you're even looking for? Like King said, like, is that something you're even looking for?
So what's specifically the question? Sorry.
The question is like, how do you are there any deterrents, or how do you deter from what's fake and what's not? When these artists, like he was asking pretty much on those interviews, like, like
I like, do you care about an authentic story?
Yeah.
Like, do you care if the artist is actually telling a true story, or are you just there to do a job?
No, absolutely. I absolutely care about, the authenticity. And I think part of that is just doing the proper research on them and knowing what I can ask that they will be open about. Like, there's nothing like hearing, yo, that's a good question. No one's asked me that before. Or damn, I got to think about that, because you kind of hit them with something that they didn't expect to be asked about. So it's definitely on the people who do the interviews. And I know a lot of these people, a lot of the bigger platforms, especially, like, they're just trying to hit these checkpoints on like, yo, well, what's the hot topic on Twitter? Let's make sure they talk about this, stuff like that. But me, I'm always looking to kind of go a little deeper and really give people the opportunity to get to know these people a bit more when I have the time to do it. Because some interviews I only get like 10 minutes. So, you kind of got to get all your points, get out, because they got to go do something else. But when I get more time with people, I really try to go a little deeper. And I try to give the benefit of the doubt too. Like, I feel like, again, I create the environment where people can be authentic with me. And if they're not, then that's unfortunately on them, because I'm going to present you in the best way, especially when you give me the content to do so. So
I love it. So we're going to go have some fun now.
Let's go.
It's our year-end episode. I'm here to cause controversy. But we'll start off politely first. So, interesting year in music. So with the end of the year here, you are our guest, Mr. Sadler, so I'll throw the first lob up to you. What was your best album this year? Or and we'll take away. Well, I don't like how I framed that. What was your favorite album this year? Let's go there.
My favorite album is what I think is the best album of the year, and that is none other than For All the Dogs by Drake.
Woo, let's get some claps for fucking Drizzy.
What? Whoa.
Let's get some claps for Drizzy.
We got to hit. Wow. Of the year.
Of the year, yeah.
Okay.
Here's my
Why we have to hear it?
Here's my thing.
I want to hear it first.
So I'm gonna give mine. We'll all give ours. And we'll have some conversation. Huh? So my album of the year this year, was pretty easy for me because I've played this album so many different times. It's not a big name for some people. For others, it's a very big name. But Beautiful and Brutal Yard, J House, the album of the year for me. Let's get some claps for J House. Get some claps for J House. Y'all not tapped in. I know Armon knows, but some of y'all may not be tapped in. Make sure you go check that project out. Big Jew.
Shit.
Your album of the year.
2023?
2023.
I feel like niggas might need to step it up. I'm still in 2017, so I don't.
I need you to get the fuck out of 2017.
Damn.
I need you to come.
Yeah, shit. No, so
brother.
all right. Wow, this is intense. So I didn't know niggas was making rap. I don't know what the fuck this new nigga shit was called.
It doesn't have to be hip hop. It could be any. It could be any genre.
If that's the case, I'm gonna get back to niggas. I'm gonna get because I feel like we're not in that no more. If it ain't Griselda, if it ain't that, if it's not that, and that's such specific because they got that in a chokehold. So that I would have to give it to Drake. Drake not making rap. I don't want y'all get this. He the new NSYNC. He a pop star. He told y'all. I don't know what he do.
Here is okay.
He's a Dominican Arabic nigga with braids.
Here is my only.
What's that?
So I've actually been listening to a lot of For All the Dogs today, specifically today. The album has gotten better for me knowing who some of the subject matter is about, right? If you guys are on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck they call it, there's a viral tweet going around showing 4 specific women that Drake mentioned in the project, okay? I encourage all males and some females, depending upon what you're into, to go find that viral tweet because it will show you 4 women. I now understand the album, okay? I now understand where Drake's pain coming from. I now understand where the mindset was. I will say, though, there was something that Joe Budden said that resonated with me a bit. I thought he took it a little bit too far, but I also understand where Drake is coming from in the sense of Drake is still in the mode of going and reaching out to younger artists and not adapting their sound, but going into their world.
No, he clout chasing.
Like for example, the Yeet record, right? Like that to me, I think Drake is trying to put a spotlight on Yeet. Do something that is more in his comfort zone, and he's just able to flip it the way he does. And that's fine for me. I guess as a longtime Drake fan, I think he gave it a little bit more for us on the deluxe when he had those the actual rap records on there. I just want to hear a little bit of older Drake. That's all. I just want
you want to hear a little more what?
I
want to hear his.
I just don't know no more.
But like the growth in himself, because I think a lot of his contact matter is still about the women in his life, and I understand that. But there was an element of older Drake, which was him being vulnerable about himself and his family and things like that. And I think that version of Drake has been a little bit closed off.
Can I be candid?
Please.
So this is me being candid. Drake has been a part of the Mossad, CIA, whatever the fuck, right? And I'm gonna be honest. It's not. It's the Illuminati. Nutty. We're going to do the captions. But in all honesty, I don't think shit is bro. He's 37. I just was like,
that's
he catfished me.
I didn't want to use
and
the
I
age
watched
thing.
no. The age is not a matter. But when you think about relativity, 08 till now.
That's what I'm
15.
What I'm saying.
So you've been on so long. You're not talking hardships no more. You're not even from Memphis.
No, but I don't.
You a Dominican nigga from Toronto that's Muslim that lives in Saudi. Nobody relates, so it's hard for us to correlate your hardships.
But I'm not even looking to relate per se. I would never relate to Drake, right? Drake's lived a life that 99.9% of people
him, King Tut, and Hudam Hussein. Those the only 3 niggas that lived that life, right? And he's one.
I would like to hear. I would. I would like to hear just more of like, how does he feel being the man for 15 plus years? How does he feel?
I feel like he talks about that. He talks about that pretty often.
He'll give you a jab. He'll give you a bar. He'll give you a bar. But like, and I'm being hypercritical here. I'm being hypercritical because Drake deserves hypercritical. Like I can't say, I'm not gonna do the same critique I would for Drake for like Lil Uzi. Right?
You know what I think?
Like we're having two different
I
conversations.
don't know what it feels like to feel like Mike, Jack, and Prince and not be able to dance or play an instrument. That's what it feels like.
And I want Drake to tell me how it feels.
He's telling us. I'm
No,
still unsure. I'm still unsure.
Well, so Armon,
And you don't get that from his music?
so Armon, well, why was For the Dogs your favorite of the year?
For me, it's just, I mean, genuinely to me, it's the best music that I've heard this year. And I know a lot of people's criticism was the lack of rapping there. And that was jarring for me. My first listen to For All the Dogs, I was like,
disturbing.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Really?
I don't know how I feel about this because I think a lot of people got baited into For All the Dogs, meaning like for all the guys, and the guys want to hear the rap shit. And then when you get into the album and you hear the concepts, you hear what he's talking about, like he takes a very adversarial stance towards women. Like he is tired of his heart being broken. He's tired of believing that these women are going to be the woman for him. I think he's still recovering from the Rihanna shit. Seeing Rocky with her definitely gets under his skin. And I talked about this in a Instagram live I did maybe like 2 weeks ago. I think he feels entitled to a certain love because of who he is, the success, the stature, the money, the plane, all that. Like he feels like love should come easily to him. So when he's getting with this 25-year-old joint who is loving, everything he can do for her, and then when she kind of sees him for who he really is, and I don't think he's a bad person, but I think these women kind of recognize like, damn, this isn't the guy for me, and they play him. He's like, what the fuck? Like he's caught off guard because he thinks everything is good. He can give you whatever you want. And so he's really tired of that. He's been making a lot of the same mistakes over the course of his career when it comes to love. And I think this album sounds to me like he's finally learned, like, yo, I'm tired of the women that I've been pursuing for the last however many years. I'm tired of these type of women. And I want to find something that's real. And so I think, throughout this break that he's taking after the tour. Allegedly, but yeah, it just seems like he's reached his like breaking point where he's like, yo, I am tired of these people who I invest so much into, these people who I believe will be the person for me, not being the person for me. Like every human wants to be loved. We all want love. It's okay. It's natural.
Brother, I just got married, brother. I feel Drake.
You feel me? And congrats to you. You've got love her. She's awesome. And Drake wants what you have, but he is looking in the wrong people. And I think it starts internally too. And I think this album is really confronting the internal strife that he's dealing with. Like he's the guy, undeniably, artist of the last decade, the biggest artist in the world, arguably the GOAT. Like this should come easy to him. Love should be easy, he feels, but it hasn't been.
And I think that's the one. And you mentioned the self-reflection, and I think that's what I missed. And I think that, or that's what I was hoping to hear some of. Because I agree with your whole assessment of the project. That's kind of what I heard too. A guy who just, why haven't I found a wife yet? Why haven't I found the woman of my dreams? And Aubrey, it might have something to do with you. Aubrey, you might be doing something. I don't know what it is. But it might be something. But I digress. So with the best of something, we have to do the worst of something.
Okay.
So we're going to do the most disappointing / worst albums of the year. Now, I would be more than happy to go first. And I would like to say disappointing because I know, Mr. Sadler can't say worse. I understand. So we'll just go slightly disappointing or expecting more. The I expected more album of the year.
Okay.
So
I like that. I like that.
So,
I expected more. That's a good way to position it.
Right. I expected more. Mine is.
Are there any
easy.
choices though? Help a nigga out.
Well, I can give you some. Mine is pretty easy. I've spoken about this project on this pod before. And after 5 or 6 spins, I feel probably even more strongly now than I did before. And my I Expected More project is Utopia.
Oh yes, me too.
That is
Me too.
easily, without a doubt, my I Expected More project.
I can see that. Actually, I can see that.
My answer and my reasoning, again, hasn't flinched or changed. The one thing that has always drawn me to Travis Scott is his projects. Are his projects, right? Before the Rodeo, Astroworld, we can go on and on, right? Every single one of those
Birds in the Trap.
Birds in the Trap, like all of those
classics.
projects, when you hear them, for me at least, it was like a breath of fresh air every time. It was like, oh, this guy is really trying to be the new Kanye, and take it to a whole nother level. Even though I know he does some production, not as much the same level. But point is, taking that sound, that vibe, that energy, and pushing it to the younger generation,
Pushing it.
Utopia to me sounded like the records that were left behind. It sounded like, oh, this record didn't.
Let me hit on that. Let me hit on that though. I'm gonna try because you just sparked some. So my album of 2023 is Utopia. My album that should have did more is Utopia.
Oh, you like Utopia?
Yo, I love that shit. But then it's because there's nothing. The problem is I'm tired of listening to niggas that sound the same or sound like some shit that was the same. This sound like Yeezus. Niggas didn't fuck with Yeezus.
No, but that's okay.
Niggas didn't fuck with Yeezus. When did that come out?
Wait. But your point is exactly why it disappointed me. It sounded like a Walmart version of Yeezus.
No.
I enjoy Yeezus. I enjoy Yeezus because Kanye did something that most rappers would never ever try to do, and he entered a realm that to this day most rappers won't even touch.
Yeezus was a runway.
And Utopia.
The artists are models. Utopia was just a model that was on the runway of Yeezus. That wasn't because
it was a worse version of it.
Niggas didn't fuck with Yeezus.
Armon, what was the sample? Was it the Black Skinheads record that he sampled on there?
4 in the morning.
Black Skinhead.
Right.
Yeah.
That was in the Wolf of Wall Street. It's nothing around that time right now.
Bro, that was so disappointing.
Yo, the crazy thing
is, it wasn't even like he made it like for new niggas. Like it was just Black Skinhead. It was what was what was new about it?
No. That's because niggas fail to realize Kanye West is Picasso and everything above. He's Mozart. He's Beethoven. He's that. Kanye really told y'all what it was.
Right. And this is why Utopia disappoints.
In 3 to 4 years, niggas gonna be like, yo, Hyena that worked.
No.
Because there's no movies.
But I don't want Travis Scott to be Kanye.
Why wasn't Hyena in Griselda? Why is that not the trailer we see when Hyena drops and shit? Because we saw Wolf of Wall Street. It was 4 in the morning. Leo was
because Black Skinheads was something that we've never heard.
No, because they said this is devil worshiper.
Yeah.
No, because
Yeezus was definitely like ahead of its time.
Actually, I even argue that shit. I just I like Utopia, but I don't love Utopia.
No, listen. I'm okay with people liking Utopia.
What sounds different? It's nothing different. I like different.
I don't not see what you like about it. I as I said, and this is I
didn't love it though. I didn't love it.
After Astroworld, to give me Utopia is like slapping me in the face.
Astroworld but that's not fair. That's not fair.
It's slapping me in the face. I don't need you to be the same
nigga
as
Astroworld.
But I need you to
first song of Astroworld. Armon, what's the first song of Astroworld?
First song of Astroworld, Stargazing.
First song of Astroworld, Stargazing. Everybody heard it. Stargazing. I don't know what the fuck the first song going to Utopia is. That's the problem.
Name me one song that goes.
I think the first song on Utopia is Modern Jam. Let me check just to make sure. I think it's Modern Jam.
I don't like Modern Jam.
So you know what?
I can listen to
I can tell you Astroworld. I'm sure you can give me at least 2 records.
Oh no, it's Hyena.
It's Hyena.
Yuck.
It's Hyena.
I like Hyena.
So listen,
Hyena go hard.
I can tell you. I can tell you Astroworld. You can tell me at least 2 or 3 records off top of your head. Boom, easy.
Yeah.
Right. If I say Utopia, can you give me 3? You like Utopia.
I like Utopia.
Other people in the room. There's only one other person. Other people in the room. If I tell you Utopia, can you give me 3?
Nah, you felt that way too, and you look like Trap. Really?
0. We can't because
it didn't do it for you.
I'm sorry, it just didn't do it, and I don't want to harp on this forever.
I'll say this:
disappointing.
Utopia sounded like shit he thought about putting out a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Right, he didn't do
To be honest, it did sound like that. I don't love it, but I understand. But here's the thing. I'm tired of everybody that's new and coming up sounding like what's been hot for a year and a half, 2 years.
But that's my point. So then do something fucking different.
At least he old, Caviar. You niggas ain't even new sushi.
Hey, man, let's get some class of Utopia. We're going to keep the ball moving here.
Let's go.
So, Mr. Sadler, I'll start this one for you. Biggest surprise album of the year.
Ooh.
So this is going to be the album or the artist who dropped the project this year that surprised you because it could be either it was really good and you didn't expect it or it was terrible and you didn't expect it. So what was your biggest surprise album of this year?
I'm looking at my list right now because I've got my top list that I'm working on. Biggest surprise. No one in my top albums list really surprised me. Maybe. Actually, I don't want to say this is a surprise because Gunna has always been really good. Like he's always the only album, the only album of his
we did that
I didn't like. The only album of his that I didn't like was Drip or Drown 2. But I think it's a surprise in that he dropped and it was very well received in a time where the internet kind of thought it was over for him based off of everything that's happening with YSL. And 2 months later, Fuck You Mean is a top 10 song on the Billboard Hot 100. People are supporting his videos. I saw Gunna perform live at Barclays and just seeing the reception there, you would think none of that YSL shit happened because it was like he didn't miss a beat. So I think it's a surprise in that people were willing, and I've said this often for years. I've said good music will always stop you from being canceled. And not that I think Gunna was necessarily canceled, but the fucking snitch allegations for the last from when he took the Alfred plea in December 2022 up until he dropped the album, snitch jokes, memes, videos, all that shit. It was snitch, 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 snitch. He drops the album. It's very well received. Some people chose not to listen to it at all, but Fuck You Mean was undeniable. Niggas heard Fuck You Mean and they was like, all right. Like this nigga, he's it's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say. This nigga made another hit.
Snitching may not be so bad.
It's so crazy too because in 2022 he dropped Drip Season Forever, January 2022, which obviously had Pushin P, and he went #1 over the weekend. So like 2022 was going to be the year where he was going to really make that star turn. And then he gets locked up in May. That stifles all of his progression. So to come out after 7 months in jail, people trying to write, the end of your career, to put out a really good album and to have a hit on there that is undeniable. That's what I would say it didn't surprise me that he made good music. He's always made good music, but the reception of it, the organic approval of it from people, and the undeniable aspect of it was surprising for me because it really seemed like people were going to stick to their Twitter street codes that they've made up, to kind of talk down on him.
Yeah, niggas are liars. No, that's a great answer. My surprise album of the year is someone who I think honestly deserves it, and honestly somebody who surprised the fuck out of me. And that album is Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. I remember Lil Yachty when he first came out with A Cold Like Minnesota and like all those records that came after. And I thought Lil Yachty's another SoundCloud guy, another Uzi Vert. I put him in a box, right? That's what I did. And I'll be honest, I just came back from a honeymoon. I played that album on the beach.
Shit.
And I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be mad that album won album of the year. Like that is one of those albums which surprisingly was really, really, really good. And I think Yachty really dove himself into it and allowed himself to be vulnerable with the vocals and a lot of those things that you heard. I think Lil Yachty's album was my surprise album of the year.
I'm good. So look, I'm gonna step away from all these conversations between you two journalists, but I'm gonna say both of you niggas are spot on because like I don't trust none of these niggas. Gunna, what you said about Gunna was 100% genuine and true because I realized the culture is as fickle as the artist. It's no camaraderie. It's no nostalgia anymore. And it's nobody's holding anybody liable to the shit that they talk. It's completely entertainment. So now for you parents out there, for you people who are gatekeepers or whatever, I don't want to hear about nobody talking about snitches, this, that, and the third. Do I believe or not believe? I don't know. But I know Gunna makes good music. And I know Fuck Me hot. Now, for me to have been whatever the bullshit I was in, right? I don't know. We'll find out. But it's a gray spot. His music is hot. So I'm gonna just say these for these artists. Don't do the bullshit when you don't have to keep your entertainment hot. It's entertainment. You can be Batman without putting on a fucking cape, nigga.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
No, don't get caught on the ring bell then, because you niggas is getting caught. It's plenty. 50 Cent did what he did, and he didn't get caught. And when he did, he talked about it.
See, this is my
get shot 9 times, cocksucker. That's the real shit. Then
this is my argument.
Don't go to court.
But don't use 50. 50 is one.
No.
51 is one of a gajillion.
No, Babe Ruth is Babe Ruth. Shohei showed up at the right time.
Right.
Gunna,
but Gunna's not 50.
We don't know. Don't know.
Gunna's never going to be 50.
We don't know.
No, Gunna's not 50.
We'll know when this YSL case. Now, the other nigga was who? Who was your nigga?
Lil Yachty.
Yachty also. I feel like within the last 2 to 3, I've just had a love affair with his music because to be honest, I also have to put myself in his realm. This nigga is really transcending music.
He's trying to.
No, he did because we're not looking at just the credits and we don't know. The problem is certain niggas chase clout. Yachty not chasing clout.
Right, but
he's chasing legacy because he put on a lot of niggas because think about cadences, bobs, and what's going on.
I will agree with you that he's definitely chasing.
He's not chasing.
Right,
clout.
But transcendent, I don't like that term.
Nah.
I don't think Lil Yachty's transcendent.
Yo. Out.
Yeah, transcending is that's
only a stretch when you watch a nigga at the goalpost. That's all I'm saying.
No, but like that. Go ahead, Armon. Go ahead.
Nah, yeah, I think that's a little much. I do agree with you, John. Like when I heard "Let's Start Here," I was like, "What the fuck is this nigga doing?" Like I was very, very surprised by it. And he had some songs like that on his album Teenage Emotions from 2017, which I didn't like that much, but I kind of saw the potential was there. I liked Let's Start Here too. It's not gonna make
pretty dope.
My top 10 or even my honorable mentions, but I did really like it. A lot of people didn't like it. They felt like it was like Tame Impala cosplay or whatever, and that's fine. You know, people are always gonna kind of compare and say, "Oh, this niggas are trying to be this people," whatever. I thought it was good music, but for transcending, it's a little. To me, it's a little much.
But isn't that transcendence a risk?
No, well, because
who's jumping off the cliff?
Well, I guess in my mind, when you say transcendent, like to me, you're putting Lil Yachty with like
any nigga that jumped off the fucking cliff.
Like you putting him with like The Weeknd.
Yep.
No way.
Yeah.
Give me the light.
For me.
Give me the light. Give me the light.
For me, if and I hate to base things off of numbers and sales, but if that album was truly transcendent, it would have sold. I think it did like 25K first week.
No,
and truthfully,
don't do that. Truthfully, don't do that.
Don't do.
Hey, I'm sorry.
I want to hear. I want to hear. But don't do that. Don't do that. All right, don't do that. But do it. But do it.
That's just what it is. And like even beyond the first week sales, if it was truly transcendent, people would be talking about those songs on that album more. People would be playing those. I haven't heard any of that album out. And I'll be outside. I'll be at festivals. I'll be all that. I went to his set at a Rolling Loud in July. I don't think he performed anything from that album.
Isn't that kind of dope though? The fact that you can't hear everything. I like that shit. I like listening to some shit niggas don't like listening to.
But I think the festival stage, like Armon said, is very important, right? Because when you're on a festival stage, you play the records you know are gonna go. So that's a very interesting point.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's because transcending is going beyond the niggas, going to the white people, going to the Latinos, going around the world. And I don't necessarily think people are looking at that album in that way, but
Why
I know
not?
Strike is a hit. Poland is a hit. A lot of the other shit he's done this year or been on this year are transcending, and it's his.
Well, I guess I meant that. Armon, I'm sorry. Yachty's transcending.
That's fine. That's cool.
Apologies.
Yeah, I definitely think he's on the brink of it, if not there already. But that album, I wouldn't say.
So,
damn.
As we keep moving forward, okay. So I got a good one, and so for this one, I want to do the best project no one has heard of. And obviously someone's heard of it, duh. But this is gonna be more of like the album project that the album project for the artist that isn't super mainstream, like not everyone's heard of this person. It may be a niche type of artist, whatever the case is. But this is gonna be the best project no one's ever heard of. Did I go first? Last time?
You went first.
Okay, so please, right. Mr. Sadler, please.
I'm gonna go Cash Cobain, Pretty Girls Love Slizzy. Ooh, Cash Cobain is someone who has Cash produced on Calling for You, which is on For All the Dogs, Drake and 21 Savage. Cash has produced a lot for Yachty. He produced on Pink Panthers' album Heaven Knows, but he also makes his own music that's really good. He's a Bronx artist. He makes what he calls sexy drill. So, there's a lot of these drill niggas and their music is about killing and violence and stuff. Cash is making drill music that the women can enjoy. It's catered towards the women. And I really enjoy that. And I think, obviously, he produced on a song that was number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. So people might know him for that more than his own music. But I think he makes some phenomenal music. He makes stuff that's upbeat, stuff that I think, like, you could play some of his songs at, like, a white party, and I can see white people going up to it. I haven't seen it in person, but I just feel like
I feel you. Where the energy's headed.
The production, like the energy of it, I think it would go up for those people. And I really think he's on the verge of becoming more than just the guy who produced for Drake, Pink Panthers, Central C, Lil Yachty, and really being recognized for the talented artist that he is. He's super popular in New York. The people, it's one of those if you know type of things, but I think it's time that more people know about him. I had the chance to interview him, and he's super dope. I know people on his team, and I think more people need to hear "Pretty Girls Love Slizzy" because it's phenomenal to me.
That's a great choice. That's a really, really good choice. Mine's gonna be a West Coast artist.
Okay. Where we at with it?
Mine is gonna be an artist who I feel like is bringing the feeling back. This has been in my rotation probably since February. So probably since I first heard it, so maybe summertime. Mine is The Great Escape by Larry June and The Alchemist. To me, it's a twofold.
Well, you put me on Larry.
I put you on Larry.
Damn. So then I got
for me, Larry, I see what Dom Kennedy should have been. That to me is what Larry June is.
It's Dom 2.0.
We can't even. I don't want to say 2.0. I want to say this is the potential I thought Dom was going to reach. This is the music, the run, especially now because Larry just dropped another project with Cardo. So like this is where I thought Dom was going to get to, is where Larry's at. And then on top of that, I have a brand new appreciation for The Alchemist. The man has been sampling, chopping, and creating production for almost 30 years now.
20-something years.
Okay. And it's almost like this is his best run right now. Between his work by himself, between the work he's done with other artists, this seems like it feels like early 2000 again when we first heard The Alchemist in the first place.
When you say that though, mid 2000s when it was 08 to 13, he was back at it. When it was 08 to 13, he was back at it again. Thank you, King. And I just want to give, first off, I think what we're hitting on is the hottest production at the moment.
Production matters.
But Not matters.
No. Production matters more than rapping does right now.
I think. Period. Back then,
that wasn't always the case.
No. The problem was it was a mix of each because you needed top tier rapping to come in that stew because the producer was like, I got this many amount of hours. You ain't about to fuck the time up. I believe in you. We got 3 hours. Nigga, I can do this. Now, it's a click of a button. Before it run tape, this, that, and the third. You know what it was. You run tape, this, that, and the third. But go back in the booth. Now it's a button. That's why so many run-of-the-mill artists. So I can't ask y'all questions about what's hot, what's not. These niggas is gonna be done by May.
No, but that's
a fact. No. If you not Drake, if you not Yachty, if you not the niggas y'all said, they will be because the production y'all named and how exquisite it was when y'all talked about that, the premises y'all gave behind that was lit. Now these niggas, I want the artistry to step up. I don't know who rap good.
So we gonna. That's a great question. Hold that thought.
I can't.
We're gonna get there.
I've been drinking Don Julio.
Before we get there, one thing that me and Armon have in common that many people don't is we are both very avid lovers of wrestling.
Okay.
We both are very big WWE guys, I would like to say.
Okay.
So, Mr. Armand, this might be between me and you, but I believe you went first to last one, so I'll go first. But the question is, what is your favorite wrestling moment of the year? Now, I was going to use the CM Punk return, but I feel like that's way too easy. So I'm going to take us back. I'm going to take us back to what, maybe February, January-ish? No. This is after WrestleMania, so this is probably April, May. This is probably May-ish. I'm going to take us back to Backlash. I'm going to take us back to Puerto Rico, and I'm going to take us to Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny walking out on national television and hearing, I don't know how many people were in attendance, but all those Puerto Ricans singing those words word for fucking word. I have never seen nothing like it. That shit looked like Jesus returning home.
It did. 3 days later, nigga.
I have never, and mind you, shout out to Bad Bunny.
Shit. Mark Anthony wasn't there. That's the only thing he was missing.
No, Mark
He should have came out there holding Mark Anthony up like a fucking like a human-sized burrito, cocksucker.
Listen, as an avid wrestling fan, I've heard pops, I've heard reactions. That was probably one of the biggest reactions I've heard for a non-wrestler easily in the years that I've watched this shit.
The nigga spit out like Stone Cold.
Holy shit. That shit, even thinking about it, gives me goosebumps. Just because you can tell, and the uniqueness about wrestling is someone like Bad Bunny, who has performed in front of hundreds of thousands of people on a regular basis, you can see him soak in that energy. Like you felt it. Visually saw him like, oh shit. Because it's everyone's. Listen, I don't care who you are. If you are a male that grew up anywhere between the 90s to the early 2000s, it was your dream to walk out
that tunnel
to any wrestling event and hearing that reaction. So to see Bad Bunny experience it and to see him react the way he did, that's how, at least in my mind, it was like, oh, this is special.
Facts.
Like, this is special. Even for a guy like Bad Bunny, it's special. And again, a guy who's done thousands upon thousands of shows, for him to you can see the goosebumps on him. Yeah. You can see
you get in trouble for telling grandma can't give you no more pecan pie at fucking Thanksgiving.
Listen, Bad Bunny.
Suck it. You get in trouble right now.
At Backlash is my wrestling moment of the
out of here.
Mr. Sadler, the floor is yours.
That's a good one, man. I remember vividly watching that and just being captivated by all of it. The entrance, the changing his entrance theme, because he would usually enter to his song Booker T. He chose Chambea. I'd never heard Chambea, but them Puerto Ricans knew
Yo,
Chambea.
I didn't even know that
like you
record.
said.
I didn't even know the
I'm
record.
uncomfortable. Them Puerto Ricans made me uncomfortable.
I didn't even know the record.
I believe I'm Nicaraguan.
Bro,
So Armon, I'm uncomfortable.
The moment the show was over, I played Chambea. I played it the next day when I was making brunch. Like it became it's a song that dropped in 2017, and it felt like it was the best song of 2023 just because of what Bad Bunny did. But for me, I think the moment of the year for me. It has to do with the bloodline, man. It's when Jey Uso super kicked Roman Reigns on SmackDown.
Wow, a SmackDown moment.
Finally, he finally turned on Roman. It was years of abuse and gaslighting and manipulation. And Jey had to watch his brother super kick Roman at Night of Champions and screw them out of the tag team titles. And Jey was conflicted and that segment where he's telling Jimmy, like, I've always been trying to keep up with you. I became main event Jey Uso because of Roman, and just like they really baited us into thinking like, yo, Jey really might not side with his brother. And then he says, you know what, you out and I'm out too, and then super kicks Roman. Like that was one of the few moments over the last few years of Roman's reign, not pun not intended, where we've seen Roman look weak, where we've seen him look disheveled, where we've seen him really contemplating, yo, what is going on? I don't have the advantage right now. And then to go into Money in the Bank and Jey being the first person to pin Roman in almost 4 years, it was perfection. But I think Jey super kicking Roman it's a moment that will withstand the test of time. It's a segment that I go back and watch pretty often just because it's art to me. And I think that's the beauty of professional wrestling and sports entertainment is, it's fake fighting, it's theater, but it's truly art. Like when you really put yourself in those people's positions, the characters that they portray, and you think about, yo, if I was Jey, I would kick this nigga in the face too. Like, fuck him. I've been by your side helping you keep that title for years, and you want to talk crazy to me and then try to gaslight me into turning on my brother? Like, I feel like that was a cathartic moment for everyone who's been waiting to see Roman Reigns fall. And obviously he's still the champion. He's still, who he is. But in those 2 months, it was like, yo, this feels like the beginning of the end. So yeah, I got to go with Jey Uso super kicking Roman Reigns in the face.
I thought you were gonna go Sammy, because I went back and forth with the Sammy chair shot heard around the world. I really, really wanted to use that as the one, but I you know what, the Jey kick, and especially where the story has gone to, you can say whatever you want about Roman in his run. He created 4 main eventers himself.
Yeah.
Okay? Really? Roman Reigns.
Jimmy, Jey, Sammy, and Solo. All 4 of those guys going forward into the next 10, 15 years, those guys are going to be
products of Roman Reigns.
But they're going to be on everyone's TV screen for the next 10, 15 years. At least 10 years. The Jimmy and Jey are a little bit older, but like the Solo, and so is Sammy, but Solo, and like that's going to be 10 years.
The commercial value.
Our kids are going to look back and be like, oh yeah. Like that was that 90s moment when Stone Cold first came out and fucking stunned Vince McMahon.
And
he became fucking Stone Cold. Or when
Mick Foley.
The Mick Foley fall.
Oh.
It's gonna
fuck is that for this generation?
For this generation, they're gonna get older and they're gonna be like, oh, you should have been there.
I can't even fathom what that feels like.
And let's get some claps for WWE because they've been on a run. Let's get some claps going for them.
Let's fucking go, cocksuckers.
They've been on an amazing run. This has been an amazing podcast. I can't thank Armon enough for joining us. But before we go, although this is the year-end pod and we wanted to look...
Wrapping up for you cocksuckers.
What's going on in the past year. I do also want to look forward. So I want to take this time for each of us. And Jew, you'll be the first one to start.
Okay.
What is your big goal for 2024?
Ooh.
Your own. It could be personal. It don't got to be wild personal. It could be wild personal. Whatever you want to do. But what is your biggest or one of your biggest goals for 2024?
My biggest goal from 2024 is to be completely independent, and that means from any excess baggage. I'm talking if it's job, if it's stress from whatever relationships you're in, anything that's not giving you an advantage to be the best version of yourself and mirror that image towards what's giving you that advantage. People just, I want to be the best. Well, what's giving you that opportunity, and you have to mirror it back. That's my goal. To look at myself and be like, yeah, we're here.
I like that.
That's my goal.
Let's get some claps going for Mr. Big G.
Let's go.
Mr. Armon, I'll let you go last. My big goal for 2024.
What is it?
It's a big goal, and actually, I guess an announcement. My big goal for 2024 is to be a good father.
Oh shit! Hit the fucking yo! Is it a king or a queen? Well, prince or princess, because y'all still got the throne and shit.
I won't tell the world.
Okay, I'll tell you but it's loyalty.
But,
it's loyalty and royalty.
I am going to be a father coming in 2024. So I am very excited. I'm very nervous. I'm very all the above. But I know more than anything, I am just ready to take on the challenge. And whatever comes with it, comes with it. But that's my goal for 2024 is to be a good first-time dad.
You ready?
Well,
because you cool with the mom.
We'll talk about that later.
Other than that, nigga, get those sleeping pills.
Mr. Sadler, what is your big goal for 2024?
I got two primary goals, and they kind of go hand in hand. I grew up a 3-sport athlete, so I was always super fit. College, I kind of fell off. Post-grad, I've been on and I've been off, and I really want to lock in on my fitness and get beautiful again. I've had a lot of conversations with women, and I've kind of noticed this in real life too. Like, as vain as we think women are sometimes, women don't necessarily care if you happen to be a larger nigga. But for me personally, my confidence and my comfort, I do want to get slim again. And I think a big part of that would be limiting my drinking, which I'm doing it right now. So,
yeah, them 4 locos got niggas going crazy. Cheers to the loco.
Cheers. But also a bigger thing is my time management. I think that comes with being able to say no. I think one of the great things about my job is it's afforded me the opportunity to be in rooms and in places that I just never would have imagined. But I do need to prioritize myself, prioritize my rest, prioritize just doing what is best for myself, and not. And I've gotten over my fear of missing out on things. So like, I'm cool if I miss out on a party or I miss out on an event, it's okay. But doing so with the intention of, all right, if I'm not here, get my ass in the gym. Let me eat right. Let me be disciplined. So I think the discipline is like the overall thing, because discipline will help me to be okay missing out on events that are work related, and it'll help me to be more consistent with my fitness and my diet, because I've got weddings coming up. I've got a destination wedding in Colombia that'll be within the next 1 or 2 years, and I'm definitely trying to be out there like shirt off shorty, like no shirt poppy, baddies out there. I'm trying to be out there looking right. So
your best fit
that's my biggest thing. You said what?
Your best fit self, like, but outside of that,
absolutely.
Like, with that being said, you being those 3-sport athletes and you being in that realm, like, where does your comfortability? Just because I'm big on preaching that, and there's ups and downs with it. And you're not a bad looking guy. You're still fit, but it's it sounds like what you're used to. Is that where we're at? Like, so going forward, just to give a couple quick gems to the audience. What are some things that you're prepared to do to get back in those steps? Because like some people fell off or whatever, but it's like this is what you're used to. So what are some of just like real quick, a couple 3 quick gems that you're willing to do to make you feel comfortable again?
Well, I mean, I think a big part of growth is being uncomfortable. You know, if you're comfortable, you can get complacent. You know, one of my favorite phrases is growth is uncomfortable. And I think when I was a teenager and when I was in high school and I played 3 sports, my life is completely different from there. So I need to find a new balance, a new discipline here. And that's an exciting journey, you know, and you have to be intentional about that. So I think, number 1 is being intentional. Number 2 is sacrifice. You know, I make a good money writing now. So there's always an opportunity to go into the city, eating at great restaurants that I love, linking with the bros, drinking with them, but sacrificing that time, knowing that, you know, the time that I put into myself and my body is going to be beneficial. And the third is enjoying it, having fun with it. You know, I think sometimes people look at fitness and the gym as a chore, as a requirement. And naturally, as humans, we kind of reject things that we feel like we have to do. And I genuinely enjoy lifting. As an athlete, it's bench pressing, all that shit. I actually love that shit. But mentally, I got into a space where it's like, with everything happening in my life, I feel like I have to go to the gym. And when I feel like I have to do something, I'm not as, you know, intent on doing it as if I want to do it.
It can become a burden just because that was a chore. That's human nature.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I
feel
it.
Enjoying that climb, because, you know, I look at my career and I enjoyed the climb from being a writer making nothing who nobody knew to being a nigga that people recognize in person. So I need to apply that mindset to my self-improvement. And I'm big on self-improvement. I'm in therapy. I value mental health, all that stuff. Like, I'm huge on self-improvement. But when it's come to my fitness, I've kind of made excuses and, you know, like kind of, you know, shrugged it off. But, you know, I think, you know, just with the person I'm trying to be, especially someone who's trying to be on camera more, on red carpets, like, you know, I got to be looking right. And there's a little vanity to it, but I think, but I think a little vanity is okay. Don't be too vain, but having just a little vanity to yourself to where you prioritize looking your best, and using it in moderation and in doses is okay. So I'm trying to capitalize on being a little vain, but also thinking about my health, my long-term health, and just, you know, reinforcing discipline in my life.
I would say no. Here's a gem before I left, because everything you said is keys and cheat codes. Because you're being humble, because you're at where you're at for a reason, and the only reason you feel like how you feel right now in this moment because you're suffering from success. I don't want anybody to get that the fuck confused. Who we're talking to is suffering from success. You cocksuckers better take all the gyms you can tonight. Right now, understand this though. It's better to be self-absorbed than self-conscious. Because when you're self-absorbed, you at least have the self-awareness to understand who you are, what you are, and what you're capable of. Now, outside of that dynamic, what you do with it, who the fuck cares? It's on you. But when you're self-conscious, you're just fucking anxious. Don't get that confused. Yeah. Armon, that's all I got. King, where the gym's at?
I got 2 last ones for you. Very, very quick, Mr. Sadler. So one of my last ones. We did a bunch of favorites, so I forgot to add this to my favorite list for you personally. But what or who was your favorite person to interview this year?
Man, that's a tough one. I talked to some people this year
I didn't give you any warning on this one.
Yeah, I talked to some people this year who I, you know, dreamed of talking to, and then some people who I didn't expect to have such great conversations with. I kind of got to cheat here. I got to go a 3-way tie. So, 1, Metro Boomin.
Ooh,
we had a really great conversation.
Let's get some claps. Hold on. Let's get some claps for that one.
Humble brag. Humble brag.
Yeah. It was supposed to be 10 minutes. And the last question I asked him was like, yo, what are the 5 songs that you would say define your career? And he had such a hard time with them that our interview ended up running over to where we're on the Zoom with his team, and they're like, "Yo, we got to wrap up. But he was struggling to answer, and that's what you love as a journalist. You love putting artists in those positions where they have to think about themselves, give themselves flowers, but also be like, "Damn, I never thought of giving myself flowers in this way and thinking about my career in this way." So Metro Boomin was definitely number 1. Lotto was number 2. I've really loved this wave of women rappers and what they're doing, and I think Lotto is one of the artists who's at the top of this current. Because Nicki Minaj is kind of an outlier. She's the GOAT among the women, and she's considered among the men too. But I think Lotto is one of the leaders of this new class, and we just had a really fun conversation. She was super cool. And I think my last one would be an interview I actually just recently put out with Naomi Sharon. She's the first woman signed to OVO Sound. We talked for about an hour.
That's dope. That's dope.
The final version of the interview that we put out is only 30 minutes, but there was a lot of gems there, and it's just always refreshing for me to speak with a new artist who is open and willing to talk. Because a lot of new artists don't necessarily know how to handle media, and they're not media trained, but she grew up in musical theater, so she kind of already knows how to present herself. And we just talked about music, we talked about love, we talked about how we handle criticism, we talked about so many different things, and it's one of the most fulfilling things for me, obviously being a big Drake fan and OVO fan, but talking to the first woman, like the woman that Drake decided is the person who's going to open the door for more women to possibly be on that label. So talking to her was awesome. So yeah, Metro, Boomin, Lotto, and Naomi Sharon for sure.
Let's get some fucking claps for that. That's fucking amazing.
Those are first off, that's a humble brag. Those are very pivotal artists.
Hey man, I got great friends. That's all I can say.
Why you ain't plugged me? You don't fuck with me like that. I'm the hot pocket nigga.
This is the very last one. We way over time. Very last one.
Let's go, Armon. You've been very generous. What's
Mr. Sadler, if you have one advice to give to an up-and-coming writer or just anybody that wants to do what they love as a profession, what is one small but significant piece of advice that you can give somebody?
I think whatever you want to accomplish in life, things aren't going to fall into your lap. They might fall into your lap. More often than not, they're not going to just fall into your lap. You have to work hard. But with that, with your hard work, you also have to put yourself out there. And again, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier about social media. Be bold. Reach out to someone who you may not know. Shoot your shot at a big opportunity. Just shamelessly promote yourself. Just like you have to be your biggest fan until someone else becomes your biggest fan. And I don't think I have a biggest fan. So I'm still my biggest fan, and I'm going to promote the shit out of everything that I do to put myself out there, because I think a lot of what I do is
you got a couple right here. You definitely got a couple right here, brother. We appreciate whatever.
And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. But I think that's the key, and we're so blessed to be in this generation, this era that we're in, where you have so many avenues to put yourself out there. TikTok, you can literally become a notable figure from the comfort of your bedroom just by making TikToks. You can become a notable figure by posting tweets, Instagram reels. And then also, but the work has to match the visibility that you get too. So, the visibility will get you across someone's radar. The good work will keep you there. And I'm fortunate enough where I think that I, accomplished both of those with a lot of people. And I still got ways to go. It's still, it's very humbling and it's very inspiring when I meet someone who is of a certain stature and they're like, oh shit, I'm not familiar with your stuff, but I'm gonna get to know it and it's also not about the visibility for me. Like I do what I do because I love it, but it's an added bonus and it opens doors for me. And if you want those doors to open for you, number one, you got to work hard, but number two, you got to continue to put yourself out there. Like I wouldn't be where I am without being as active as I am on social media, and not just promoting my work, but also just being a entertaining, personable, charismatic, and somewhat vulnerable person.
Your character.
So I would say
you got a lot of promise to you, like listening to you, you're articulate, informative. I mean, you get the message. So I mean, only question I got is, what's the formula for motherfuckers who want to make it? Because you're being very humble, like I said before, but what's the formula that you would say for artists? I don't want to say that you're looking for, but that you're looking for, or that's worth talking about. You know, outside of just the creativity, because obviously you're artists. So what do you think people are looking for? That's what I'm saying. What do you think people are looking for or should hear from your standpoint as a journalist?
There's not one formula, you know, especially again in this day and age. Like there's not one formula. Doja Cat got popping because she made a fucking Moo song, and people are like, who the fuck is this girl? And then they discover, oh shit, she actually makes really good music. Cardi B was a stripper and then a reality show star, and then she became an artist who was super dope. Like there's so many different ways you can go about it, and you reach a point where you're undeniable, where people have to pay attention to you. So I think, you know, that's the key. Like I think, and we talked about authenticity earlier, like just being yourself, like fully and without shame and without concern of anything, like just literally just being yourself. And like you're gonna attract someone. Like people can recognize when it's real and when it's contrived. So if you be yourself in whatever you do, you're gonna get somewhere. And if you work hard, it's like you're going to be successful. Like there are very few hard workers who aren't successful. Like it's just
few and far apart.
You said what?
It's just few and far apart, like you said. Like it's very few.
Yeah. It may not happen within the timeline that you want it to, but it's going to happen eventually because like that's the most foolproof method is literally just working hard in whatever you choose to do, but also having fun with it too. So I can't say there's one formula because I've been attracted to different artists for a variety of reasons. So yeah.
Yo, man, let's get some fucking claps for my boy. God damn it, Armon Sadler. Hey, Armon, you know, usually you're the interviewer side, but on the other side, you know, we got to do the handles and everything. So where can everybody find you, find your stuff? Hey, he also runs an amazing fucking podcast. He's interviewed Savon. He's interviewed so many big artists and people in the industry. Where can everybody find your stuff?
Yeah, my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, bunch of different social media is my name, Armon Sadler, at Armon Sadler, ARMON SADLER. If you want to follow the podcast, at Stay Busy Pod, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm a host of Live Take Sports. So you can follow Live Take Sports on Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow me on the app at Armon Sadler. Trying to think what else I need to promote. I do a wrestling podcast too. Follow the THEASHOWRNC, the A Show RNC. Follow me there to see the wrestling podcast. Check me out. All my writing on Vibe at Vibe Magazine on Twitter and Instagram. Search my name. You can find everything that I do there. I think I covered everything. But yeah, thanks again for having me, fellas. I had a really great conversation with y'all. And definitely love what y'all doing. So keep it up.
Hey man, love you, bro. But I need all of our fans to spam his pages and to get me on the wrestling podcast. I've been asking to get on the wrestling pod for a long time, so I need all the fans to get on there and fucking yell at Armon Sadler. Let's get one more claps for my boy Armon. Thank you again, my friend.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the fucking gems, for real.
You know the fucking vibes. I don't gotta say much else to you, but hey, it's time for us to go, my friend. Till 2024.
No free game.